God has shown you the vision. You've received prophecies. You know where he's taking you, but you just can't get out of this place. You're stuck. You've done everything that you know to do. I want to speak directly to that version of you today. The version of you that's tired, discouraged. You feel like you never gonna get out of this place. You feel like everybody else is moving forward. Things are happening for them. And you're wondering, when and where is my turn? But still believes, even if it's just a little bit. These are the exact things I've done when I felt stuck, and how God gently lifted me out of that place every time. I've had moments where I have a real conversation with self, and me and self, we discuss, girl, you can't stay here. This is not the end destination. This is not where God has called you to stay. You got to get up out of here. And in this conversation, I realized that I know God has more for me, but it's not going to just fall into my lap. I have to do something. I know that I'm not going to drift into the more by accident. It requires a decision, not a feeling, but a decision. So in that conversation with self, I decided I can't stay stuck, and a shift happened. It didn't happen overnight, decided shifts. I had to get uncomfortable. I had to choose the path that leads to breakthrough. I had to say yes to change. I had to say yes to something different, even if other people weren't doing it. There are so many Bible verses where God lovingly reminds us that he's called us to be successful. Proverbs 16:3. Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. When your plans are established, you have success. It goes from being an idea to a reality. Proverbs 22:29. Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will stand before kings. They will not stand before officials of low rank. When you think about God taking you to that place where there is honor, there is authority, there's influence, that's success. And then there's 1 Chronicles 22:13. And do all your work with all your heart, for whoever is skilled in it shall succeed. God is literally telling you, you will succeed if you do X, Y, Z. And so if you're feeling behind and you find yourself comparing your journey or your success or just where you presently are to that of other people online, friends, or just people that you know, I want to encourage you to move away from that, to stop doing that, because we know that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he would love nothing more than to steal your joy, than to steal your peace, than to steal your faith, your belief in yourself and about what God said. The enemy desires to make you doubt what God said, stop believing it, and think of it as untrue. And that's not what you want to do. This is a crafty way that the enemy sneaks in by pointing out what's happening for everyone else. I had to stop comparing my journey with everybody else's, because two people can have the same destination and take completely different paths. If you're wondering, when is it going to be my turn? Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't stop believing. Don't stop remembering what God told you, what he's shown you, and what he's spoken over you. Because if you keep going, you will literally walk into your own moment. Here's what I started doing differently. 1, make the decision. Decide that you can't stay stuck. Have a real conversation with yourself and ask yourself, what do I need to do to get unstuck? What do I need to do that maybe is uncomfortable, or I'm like, God ain't say that. And it's possible that that feeling, that tugging that you keep having, it is God, and it's an uncomfortable thought to come to terms with at times, but I have really good news for you. Even if you don't know all the steps, decide that you're going to move forward and that you're willing to do whatever is necessary for you to move forward, because God has not called you to stay stuck. 2, shut down comparison. Stop comparing your journey with other people. This takes away your gratitude, your ability to be grateful for where you are, for what you have overcome, for what has worked out for you. When you're constantly looking at what else is going on in somebody else's life, you're stealing from your own joy, your own peace, your own contentment and fulfillment, and just finding joy in day-to-day life. Every time you're tempted to measure your success by somebody else's social media stories, or how life has literally changed and where they are today is not where they were a year ago, I want to remind you that God has called you to be successful too. God has spoken success over your life also. And what he's done for somebody else, he can and he will do it for you, especially if he's spoken it. God don't just be saying things and speaking things and not coming through. That's not the God that we serve. God has a plan for you to be successful too. God has called you to be successful, and he has a plan to get you there. If he has a vision for you, he has a reality of you living in it also. Number 3, ask God to change your desires. This one can be a little uncomfortable, but I'm here to help you move through it with ease. Ask God to cause your desires, your plans to align with his, because when you're aligned with God, your success is guaranteed. There is no guesswork. Guesswork is out the window. Ask him to change the places where your desires, your heart plans, your vision, and the moves that you're making to make these things happen is not moving you forward. It's keeping you stuck, actually. While this can feel scary, the good news is that when you ask God to do the change, when you ask God to make the transformation, it doesn't have to be difficult. All you have to do is ask. About 5 years ago, I decided to get serious about working out and make it a lifestyle change. So one of the prayers that I prayed was, God, change my taste buds. Cause me to desire food that is conducive to the transformation that I desire. I want to make this a lifestyle. Help me. And y'all, when I tell you now your girl eats salad, like there are so many things that I eat now that I used to hate. Like, no, I didn't even want to smell it. That same principle applies to anything that's keeping you stuck. You don't need to force your way out. You need God to shift you. And the 4th thing, y'all gonna like this one. Be kind to yourself. How many times have you torn yourself down, or you just, you go through these cycle of thoughts where it's like, dang, I wanted to be at this point in my life by this age. I'm not here. I haven't accomplished that. I'm frustrated. Speak life over yourself in these places. It's enough people in the world that may not like you, that are certainly not speaking life over you. You don't need to be one of those people. And if you've believed for years about something that God has spoken, or something that you're believing God for, but you haven't seen anything happen just yet, or maybe like me, you started a business before and you saw some successes here and there, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't what you had envisioned at that time. Dust yourself off, because you are worth the effort. You are worthy of the vision God has placed in your heart. Drop a heart in the comments and let me know what you're believing God for. Let's agree with his plan for your life in faith together. And if you've been pouring into other people's vision, helping them to build their business, pouring into everyone else's dream, maybe it's time to build your own. Don't give up on your own destiny. Speak this out loud with me. God, if my desires don't match your plans for my life and they're not helping to move me forward, change them so that they match yours. God, help me to believe in myself again. Give me faith that if I can build and pour into the dreams of other people and their business, I can not only do the same for myself, but I can and I will be successful, because you've called me to be successful. And I agree with your word. Flush out thoughts and ways of thinking that are hindering me from moving forward, that are keeping me stuck in places that you have not called me to remain. There is blessing in your plans. Help me to walk in it. And if these prayers are igniting your faith, causing you to feel stirred up about life again, and you want a blueprint for how to pray more prayers like this, make sure you grab the verse vault, and I'll put the link in the description. Wherever you are right now, just know God is not done, and neither are you. We're not just talking about it, we're living it out. Let's do life practically and with purpose.